What's happening, people? My name's Tony. I am going to talk to you a little bit about my journey with therapy. I'm about 25 sessions in, and I guess it's really important for me to kind of just share with you the journey, because I speak about therapy quite a bit. I recommend quite a few of my friends to my therapist, and a lot of them have taken her on. And I guess it is something that a lot of people are a bit kind of clueless about. Some people are touchy about, some people don't really want to talk about it. But I think it's a really important thing to talk about. And I guess the best place to do that is from my own experience, So I'll start with why I needed therapy. Loads of people go to therapy for very different reasons. Some people have more intense reasons than others. Some people just want to go just to hear another opinion, get their own opinions challenged. I went to therapy because I felt like there was nowhere else that I could go. I really needed support, and I was dealing mainly with death. I was dealing with loss. I was dealing with the delayed feeling and emotion of a lost relationship. And then I was also dealing with mourning friends and family who had been dying quite soon after each other in 2019. And it kind of felt like things were not letting up. The year was just kind of feeling really down for me. And I went into this spiral. I went into my own kind of coping mechanisms, let's say. And, when I was 21, I lost one of my best friends to cancer. And I remember exactly what happened after that. I kind of went on a spiral that was quite destructive. And, being 30 years old now, knowing that I haven't fully dealt with all of the mourning in my life, losing another close friend of mine, I did not want to go down that road again in regards to spiraling out of control. So I spoke to a friend of mine who let me know that she had been into therapy after, a friend of hers had died. And she recommended it and was just like, listen, give it a try. If you don't like it, move on, find someone else. All of that good stuff, So I said, cool, I'll give it a try, which I did. And I found my therapist, and she was an amazing woman who just got it. From the first conversation we had, I felt connected. I felt like she understood me, or she tried to understand me, and she was a really good listener. I think the bonus for me was that I was only looking to work with someone who was black, as a black man with very intricate experiences. It was really important for me to find someone who would be able to understand and relate, who'd be able to at least find some common ground with me. So that was the beginning of my sessions. And I remember starting out, I did not enjoy therapy at all. It was a challenge where my therapist would ask me how I'm feeling. She'd ask me to kind of connect into the space and share some thoughts and share some words on how I was feeling. And it was a really tricky thing for me to do because I rarely take the time to sit down and say how do you feel, Tony? What's going on for you? How are you doing today? But it was a really challenging thing that I welcome now, 20 odd sessions in. But at first it was really scary. At first it felt very anxiety inducing whenever I would go to therapy. Sometimes I'm having tough sessions where I'm being forced to, ask myself how I feel. I'm being forced to really dig deep into my emotions in a way that I had been avoiding for years, And I will be very honest with some of my methods of avoidance were smoking weed was a big thing. That was a massive thing for me. And I think not many people would have seen it as a problem. People that were around me might not have seen it as a problem because I was very functional. I'm a very busy man, I get things done. But that was something that I was struggling with. And forming unhealthy relationships is another thing that I think was a mechanism for me, just a way to just get by and cope and not really have to commit to anything, but kind of not be alone either. So yeah, it was a really difficult journey for me. And when I first started out in therapy, I guess one of the questions I had to ask myself was how honest do I want to get? How much do I want to heal? And I guess that really came down to how much was I ready to reveal to this stranger that I didn't know, and how willing was I to accept support, which is something I'm very bad at. I tend to think I can do a lot of things by myself and for myself, which is true, but I'm learning and understanding that there are ways to offload. There are ways to kind of share the burden and, get support, get help. So that's something that I started to consider. And yeah, I could say the first few sessions, I'd go and I'd, engage. And then I'd be set some homework to do something, whether it's like a meditation or go away and write something and think about, what this session was about. And like some of the time I did it. Other times it became really difficult for me to tap into that space where I had to be real with myself. Quite a few people who I've spoken to will be familiar with this feeling of wanting to run away from therapy, running away from yourself, not wanting to confront the issues that you're trying to deal with. So I did that a couple times. I missed sessions, I missed phone calls. But I think the great thing about my therapist was that she never gave up on me. There were times where she would call me out on my shit and she'd be like, yo, correct me if I'm wrong, sorry if I'm intruding, but I feel like you're running away. I feel like you're not trying to confront, your emotions. You're not really trying to deal with this head on. But let me know if I'm wrong. And I'd just laugh because it would be like, oh, you're really good at this, man. Like, when someone just gets it and someone knows when, you're trying to avoid. And she was really good at just bringing that part out of me where I was just being honest with myself, And I think one of the things that really helped me during our sessions was the discussion around where I'm feeling and thinking from. So a lot of the time I'm thinking logically, a lot of the time I'm just kind of like, thinking with my brain. And she would always say to me, go from the heart space, think about what your heart really wants. And that always took me from trying to be strong and masculine and all of that stuff. It took me from that place to a place of like vulnerability, a place where I could really see who I am, see myself for myself. And I often say to her, this journey of therapy for me has felt like meeting myself for the first time. And that sounds deep. On some level it is, because for a lot of the time in my life I was kind of reacting to things. I was never really creating, who I am. I was never really creating the essence of my being. I was more or less reacting to the surroundings, and kind of just trying to get by, trying to survive. I think the beauty of this exploration of myself through therapy has shifted how I think about myself and how I think about life, knowing that I do deserve good things, knowing that I don't have to survive, I have a choice to live. And these are some of the things that I explored, especially through working through death, working through the aspect of mourning, and really just coming to terms with the cycle of life and understanding that, we live, we die, people come and go. There's no control that we have over that. And it's really about celebrating them while they're here and really enjoying the time that we have here. And then being able to celebrate them when they're gone and just, not necessarily always think about the great times, but embrace all the times with that person, and cherish them and not necessarily let it make me sad, but whatever emotion comes with it, just to be with that emotion. And that's new for me, but it's something that I started to engage with. I challenged myself to stop smoking. At this point now in my life, I'm like 5 months clean, and I've started to work out, started running, I started cycling, doing workouts here and there at home. And yeah, I just feel like I'm in a place where I'm finally seeing myself for who I am, mainly because there's no intoxicants, there's nothing in the way, So yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling to be clear of mind. And this is not me condemning anyone that does whatever they want to do, but this is for me. This is me knowing that, for the best part of 10 years, I haven't really been present. I haven't really been completely with myself. And just giving that opportunity to myself through therapy is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Being with this particular therapist, Paula, she's been amazing. Like, she never pushes too hard, but she's never too soft on me. And I think the greatest thing about our relationship is that there is a familiarity where we can laugh during our sessions, but then we can get serious, And she can set me homework and I'll respect the fact that it's not even about her. It's about me, and I'll do what I need to do. I'll do the work in order to get better. And when I say get better, I'm not saying there was something wrong, but just in terms of how I deal with myself, how I hold myself through emotions, how I explore my thoughts and my feelings, and how I let that manifest. So yeah, by no means am I perfect. By no means am I the model citizen, but therapy has definitely helped me towards being who I want to be and really showing myself love in a way that I've never shown it. Setting the precedent for anyone that wants to love me. Like, this is how you do it, and that I can finally say that that's a place I'm in because I know how to love myself now. And there's work to do. There's still work to do. I started therapy in October 2019. I took a break from about Christmas to February, and a part of that was running away. A part of that was still adjusting to some of the changes I wanted to put into my life. And then from about March onwards, it was like, well, February onwards, I kind of put my head down and was like, yeah, let's do this. And I was doing therapy on a weekly basis. I most recently changed to bi-weekly. So, I'm only about 2 weeks into the bi-weekly sessions. And yeah, it's a great investment. There is nothing here in regards to advertisement. I'm not here trying to sell you something. I'm just sharing my experience, because for me, therapy has saved my life in many ways, and I'm not saying that without it I wouldn't be here, but I was spiraling in a way that was becoming an issue, and I was becoming unrecognizable to myself. I was in a lot of pain that was accumulated from years back. And I think just kind of giving myself the opportunity to work through some of those traumas doesn't eliminate the trauma that's coming, but it gives me space to deal with it. And I think that's the most important thing. For anyone that would be interested in working on themselves, for anyone that might be interested in, getting help, this is a perfect opportunity. Mainly because, there's nothing to lose. I stopped spending money on things that weren't good for me, and I just put it into therapy. It can be pricey, it can be expensive, but it will be your most worthwhile expense. Like, that's my recommendation. I can say that for myself with ease, like 100%. So yeah, information will be in the description below if you ever want to get in contact with my therapist. Her name is Paula. She runs Introspective Therapy, which is a platform and a service which provides therapeutic work, and you can kind of ask her questions and explore what type of therapy might be good for you. You can get a free consultation which will allow you to speak through what you want to work through in therapy, and she will speak with you, and you can make that decision as to whether she's right for you without even spending a penny. So I would recommend that, honestly. She's been amazing. A number of my friends are using her now, and they are repeat customers. There's nothing but positive feedback. So yeah, man, do yourself a favor. Even if it's not with Paula, like, get yourself some therapy. Get yourself some sessions. Like, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. 100%. So that's it. Once again, my name's Tony Supreme. You're locked into Layers, and I was just giving you a little outline into my therapeutic journey and where I'm at currently. And this is something I'll probably do. I give you updates. I do therapy every other week, so I'll be giving you updates. I'm not going to say weekly because I don't want to commit, but I'll be doing something. So make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.